Let's go.
That brings us to our first visual of Ellie and Joel in this scene. You know, Joel is still kind of feverish in bed. Ellie's trying her best to take care of him. No resources. She's like completely out of her depth here, but she's a little bit bored. Joel's asleep. She looks over at the rifle, picks up the rifle, decides to go hunting. This was pretty long segment of the game. I remember you kind of track down this deer for about a good 15-20 minutes. It's a really cool little stretch of gameplay in the video game, so I appreciated them doing this. She actually does not kill the bunny, which she does very much take out with a bow and arrow in the game, but then she does track this deer, which leads us to James and David. I loved how she was trying to mask her voice before they turned around to give the impression maybe she was just like a younger boy and stuff like that. She handles herself as well as she can, and it just goes to show this isn't her first rodeo. This is like her 15th time being in one of these wild situations. She knows how to handle herself, and she does just that. But David is kind of able to manipulate the situation, talk her off the ledge, and kind of be like, let's take shelter. So just give me your impressions on how this first interaction between Ellie and David goes. Are you starting to see the cracks in David at this point or not yet?
No, still not yet. He definitely had me. It was like I was still kind of nervous for Ellie here, and it was kind of like when you get the conclusion of it, I'm going to jump to the end, but we'll obviously circle back and talk about all of it, of just like the fact that she pretty much ended up letting her guard down and getting taken from behind, and essentially is lucky that David is David. At least that's part of David he lets come out, because like they easily could have just killed her and like it would.
James was I think ready to pull that trigger the moment
he wanted to.
The moment he pieced it together that was the girl that the other scavengers had referenced, like there was a guy and a girl. He was, I think, so ready to pull the trigger, and like even I think that was part of the reason why he was so hesitant to go back to the village in the first place. Not even just to provide resources for Ellie, but it's just like, dude, this girl has just killed one of our own. I'm gonna leave you here with her. So yeah, I think overall, though, Ellie has just been, this was probably my favorite Ellie episode, and it's only ever been getting higher and higher in terms of just my compliments and me loving her. And this episode, she was just full on badass, man. She did not seem like a little girl in this episode at all. She seemed like she was right there at the level, maybe not right there at the level of Joel, but Ellie's still capable of, even if something, I'm now feeling confident in the point that like if something were to happen to Joel, which it did, but she could at least continue on her own if it ever got to that point of, Joel being actually killed off. I don't think it will happen, but it was cool to see that Ellie does have those survival skills now.
It was a bit of a mixed, I would say, like result for her. I was proud of her that she thinks to bargain for the medical supplies, and that was like a great move, and it ends up working out. But then obviously the negative was that like if it was anyone else, she probably would have ended up dying anyway. So I like that they showed like her experience, but the fact that she still isn't completely kind of there as like this rugged survivalist, which would be kind of too much, I would say, of growth for her over however many episodes.
You're right. She's not fully fleshed out survivalist. Like even her escape plan to distract the guys from getting to Joel wasn't like, I guess, a great plan in itself. It was the right idea, but it could have been probably executed a little differently and better. But I think again, she has her flaws, but she's great still.
She's so funny when she just goes, "Hey, fuckers," and then just starts shooting at them. And we'll get there, obviously, but that just made me laugh.